Have you ever imagined the moment when a small family is about to welcome a new member? Let's follow the touching story of Kwang and Linda, a young couple standing at a big turning point in their lives. When Linda goes for her routine pregnancy checkup, Kwang and his mother can't stop worrying and waiting for the results. But what will happen when they receive a surprising piece of good news? Will love and care be enough to help them overcome the challenges ahead? And will this family be able to build a happy and complete future despite the many obstacles they will face? Join Kwang Linda and his mother on this emotional and heartwarming journey, and you'll realize that in love, miracles can always happen. Kwang and his mother sat outside the exam room, their eyes full of worry, but also filled with anticipation. Each second seemed to stretch on as if time had stopped. Kwang looked at his mother, their hands tightly clasped together, unsure of what to say to ease the tension. His mother, with a gentle smile but a hint of concern in her eyes, patted his shoulder and said, "Don't worry, everything will be fine. Both she and the baby are healthy." Kwang only smiled back, but inside the feeling of fear kept swirling. He turned his gaze toward the exam room where Linda was being checked by the doctors. Linda was carrying their little one, and he knew how important these checkups were to make sure everything was going smoothly. However, every time he thought about possibly receiving bad news, his heart ached. His mother continued talking to him, but Kwang only half listened. His mind was completely focused on Linda, the woman he loved, the one he wanted to share his life with. Suddenly, the door to the exam room opened, and the doctor stepped out with a gentle smile. Kwang and his mother stood up at the same time, their eyes filled with hope. The doctor nodded and said, "Linda is doing fine, just needs some rest and regular monitoring. You can go see her now." Kwang and his mother hurried into the room, their hearts lightening a bit. Kwang looked at Linda lying in the bed, and she smiled at him. Her eyes were tired, but they still lit up when she saw him. His mother stood beside them, gently saying, "She's fine now, you can relax." Although relieved, the nervousness still didn't leave Kwang's heart. He sat beside Linda, holding her hand tightly. That feeling was like a promise. No matter what challenges came their way, he would always be by her side. After the doctor finished the checkup and gave some instructions, Kwang and his mother exchanged looks filled with nervousness and hope. Kwang tightly held Linda's hand and walked into the exam room. The doctor had already set up a screen, and on it appeared a blurry image of a tiny life. Kwang and his mother couldn't take their eyes off the screen, watching it with focused, hopeful expressions. The doctor smiled and pointed at the screen, his voice warm. "This is your baby." Kwang's heart raced faster. Linda lay still, her eyes wide open, unable to believe what she was seeing. A tiny, fragile dot, yet incredibly precious, was there. Her heart beat faster as Kwang couldn't look away from the screen. He felt a rush of emotions, a mix of joy and amazement. There was indeed a little life inside Linda, alive and real. Kwang's mother stood beside them, her eyes brimming with tears. A feeling of indescribable happiness spread through her heart. The three of them remained silent, almost holding their breath, afraid that this miracle might disappear. The doctor looked at their silence, sensing the happiness and deep emotions in the air. The doctor gently continued, "Your baby is about 8 weeks along. This is a crucial stage. take care of yourself and monitor closely. Congratulations. Linda broke into tears, tears streaming down her cheeks. She didn't know what to say, only reaching out to tightly hold Kwang's hand. Kwang looked at her, his eyes filled with tears, overwhelmed with emotions. Happiness filled his heart. This was the moment he had been waiting for, and now it was a reality. We're having a baby Kwang. Linda whispered, her voice choked with overwhelming joy. Kwang could only smile, his eyes wet, but the light in them couldn't hide the immense happiness. He gently stroked her hand, his voice soft. That's our baby. Everything I've ever dreamed of is right here. The three of them stood still, feeling the beat of their own hearts. In that moment, they didn't need words. Everything was clear. They were ready to welcome a new member into their family. After receiving the results of the pregnancy checkup, Kwang decided to take Linda to the pharmacy to buy some supplements that would help her maintain her health throughout the pregnancy. He also picked up the vitamins and prenatal milk that the doctor had recommended. Kwang's mother stayed close by, carefully selecting the best products for Linda, as if she could sense Kwang's worries and the loving care he had for his wife. You need to eat well to stay healthy. Is there anything else you'd like to get? Kwang's mother asked. As she scanned the shelves of medicine, I'll get some prenatal milk and the vitamins the doctor mentioned. Kwang replied, his hand still brushing over the shelves. Everything was ready. But Kwang's anxiety hadn't eased. He couldn't stop thinking about the challenges they would face as a family with the arrival of a new member. Would Linda be able to handle the difficulties of pregnancy? Would the baby be healthy? But every time he looked into Linda's eyes, all of those worries slowly faded away. He knew that together, they would overcome it all. When they left the pharmacy, they made their way back to the car, feeling a little lighter. Kwang's mother sat beside Linda in the car, chatting cheerfully. The atmosphere was warm, filled with the love and care of a mother for her daughter-in-law. They all knew that there would be many challenges ahead, but it was also a journey of happiness, a long road they would walk together. As the car rolled toward home, the outside world was calm, and the scenery seemed to pause with their steps. Once home, Kwang quickly opened the car door and helped Linda out. His mother was waiting by the door, smiling softly at them. They all walked inside, where the family atmosphere was waiting. Kwang's mother immediately went to the kitchen to prepare porridge for Linda. She needs to eat well to stay healthy, she said gently. Linda sat down at the table watching her mother-in-law in the kitchen. Kwang sat beside her, holding her hand tightly, never letting go. We've made a big step forward, haven't we? Linda said, looking at Kwang, her eyes full of love and happiness. Yes, Kwang replied, his voice warm. From now on, we won't just be a couple, we'll be a family. Kwang's mother brought the porridge to the table and placed it in front of Linda. Eat up, sweetheart. Let me take care of you, she said softly. Linda and Kwang's mother sat together, sharing stories about the future dreams and hopes for the child they would soon welcome. In that moment, Linda felt the warmth and care of her new family, and she understood that the life ahead wouldn't be just a challenge, but a meaningful journey.